Kakadosh, Erev Tov, Masechet Ketubot Daf Amud Aleph 105A1. We're just going to start now the new Perek Shlosha Asar, the 13th chapter, on Kuf Daled Amud Bet, just the last two lines. Shne Dayene Gezerot Ayu Birushalayim. The Gemara is going to explain why were they called Dayene Gezerot, but there were two different Dayene Gezerot in Jerusalem, in Yerushalayim. Admon and Hanan ben Avi Shalom. Hanan omer shne dvarim. So Hanan said two different things, and the rabbis did not agree to him. Admon, he said shiva dvarim, and the Chachamim did not agree to them. Mi shalach lemdinat hayam v'ishto tovat mezonot. Imagine somebody goes out of town, and his wife is asking for parnasah. She needs food, right? The guy skipped town. She needs food. Hanan comes and he says, Kufei Amud Aleph 105A1, Tishava basof. Right? When they find out that the husband dies, then, and she wants to collect the ketubah, she has to swear that she didn't keep anything in her hands. Right? But she doesn't have to swear at the beginning when she's collecting mizunot. Meaning like this. Husband left town, she comes to Medin, I need mizunot. I need food. So they come and say, okay, fine, we're going to give her food. Now what happens is that does she have to swear right now? No. But all of a sudden they found out that he dropped dead. He died. So if he died, what happens now? She has to swear that she doesn't have anything else in her hands, that maybe she kept and kilu, don't know, this was written before. Or this was her brothers or her family members or whoever it is. And really, man, this is not from her. Okay? So in Hanan was arguing, and they said, Tishava betchila, she has to swear at the beginning, uvaso. At the beginning when she's collecting her mizunot, and at the end when she's getting the ketubah. Says the Bido Samim, no, it's just like the words of Kohanim Gdolim. Amar Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, says Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, Yafeh Amar Hanan lo tishava la basof. So it's good that which Hanan said, that she should not swear only to the end. Okay, let's continue. Okay, Urmini says the Gemara. Urmini, we have a contradiction. Shlosha dayane gizelot ayu b'Yerushalayim. There were three dayane gizelot, meaning like this. Before there were gizelot. These were the dayanim that they were making decrees. Here, now, these are dayanim in charge of gizelot. Okay? So it says over here, Admon ben Gadai, Hanan Mitzri, Hanan ben Avi Shalom. So Kasha Tlata Train, the Kasha Gizelot, the Gizelot. You've got two contradictions. Number one, here it says three, and it brought down the Admon. You're right, here it brought down the last, like the Admon ben Gadai. But it also brought down, right, the second one, which his name was Hanan ben Avi Shalom, which was the third one by us, Hanan ben Avi Shalom. So you have Admon, Hanan ben Avi Shalom. These are, so first of all, it's a contradiction 2 against 3, because here we're seeing that there are 3 and not 2. Second contradiction, our Mishnah, it said Dayene Gizerot, or the Resh, Gizerah, making decrees. Here it's saying Dayene Gizelot, in charge of Gizelot. So how do you do that? So it says the Gemara, you could answer very simple, to do with the 3 and 2 question. Right? You could just say, you know what, listen, why do we only mention the 2? Because they were the 2 big guns. There was a third one, the Hanan Mitzri, but they didn't mention him because he wasn't as important as the other 2. So you mentioned the 2 instead of the, here we're mentioning 3 dayanim, because there's always 3 dayanim, but the most important 2, so okay, with that we answered 2 against 3. We answered that. But he says, Gizerot, Kashia. You saw the question, how do you answer Gizerot and Gizelot? So Rav Nachman Yitzchak, Shayu Gozrin Gizerot al Gizelot. No, it's the same thing. They were making Gizerot on Gizelot. That's why it was like that. Because as we learned in a Braita, Kitman Nitniya. When you have an animal that went into the Reshut of the Nizak and it cut down a young tree, how do you evaluate it? Yeah? So imagine, you have an animal going into a field, takes down a young sapling, a young tree. How do you evaluate the Rabbi Yosef Omer, Gozre Gezerot Sh'Yerushalayim Omrim, the Gozre Gezerot in Yerushalayim said, Netiyah bat shnata, if it was going to be for 1 year, right, which means, so that means it was only a 1-year-old tree, Shte Kesef. But Shte Shanim, 2-year-old tree, 4 Kesef. So says the Gemara, Urmini, we have a contradiction, Shlosha Dayene Gezerot ayu b'Yerushalayim Admon v'Hanan ben Nachum. Here it says there were 3 Dayene Gezerot. One of them was Admon, Hanan, that was we already mentioned, but now we're adding in Nachum. Why didn't our Mishnah add in Nachum? So Rav Papa says, Mantana Nachum, who was the one that taught Nachum? Rabbi Natan, it's Rabbi Natan. Titania was, we know the right Rabbi Natan Omer, Af Nachum Amadi, right? Also, Nachum Amadi was from Gozek Yerushalayim Ayu. They didn't agree to him. So now the Gemara is going to say, 1 second, right? So now it comes out that there could be even another one besides the first one, which was Harana Mitzri. Now there's also Nachum Amadi, but that's only according to Rabbi Natan, right? But also we answered up the other answer, which is Gozrin Gizerot al Gizelot. So okay, makes sense. Ask the Gemara, there were only 3? Because again, our Mishnah brought down 2. We answered it, only brought down 2 because it was the most important. Really, Be'emet, there were 3. Harana Mitzri. The Gemara says, there was also Nachum Amadi. That's according to Rabbi Natan. So it's another opinion. Fine. But maybe there was much more. The 2 Leka, what? There's no other, there's only 3? Fa'amar Rabbi Pinchas Amar Rabbi Shia, 394 bete bedin of Yerushalayim. You know how many bate din there were in Yerushalayim? He says here 394 bate din in Yerushalayim. Kenegdan bate knesiot. You have 394 synagogues. So here in Miami we have 394 synagogues, but I don't think we have 394 bate dinim. Bate midrashot. So you had 394 bate dinim, 394 synagogues, 394 bate midrash, uknegdan bate sofrin, 394 schools as well. So now, okay, obviously you're right. We're not talking about major schools. We're not talking about major bate dinim of 72 people. We're not talking about major, the synagogues of 500 people, obviously. But that's what I don't think. So they're probably much less. Like everything was in smaller numbers. Okay. Fine. So it says over here, because here it says that there were only 3 bate dinim of 23. So it's much more, all the rest were probably of 3s. So answers the Gemara, you're right. Dayanim tuvahuvu. Really, there were a lot of dayanim. So when there was only the bedin of gozrei gezerot, meaning there was only one bedin of gozrei gezerot, so that was them. That was the 3 that they had. Exactly. So Amar of Yudah Amar of Rasi says in Rasi, gozrei gezerot shbishlam yenotzin scharam tishim v'teisha maneh. Do you know that the gozrei gezerot Yerushalayim, they used to take their reward, meaning their compensation, their money, their salary, which was 99 maneh. Okay, so he says over here, like this. He says there's a whole exactly how much did they used to make per year. Yeah, it's a whole thing. 900 zuz, but then they used to divide it. And, yeah, it's like the whole thing here, exactly of trying to work out salaries from the Trumat Lishka, right? Ve lo ratzu mosifin laim, and even if they didn't want, they used to be mosifin. What does that mean? Lo ratzu, lo ratzu. If they didn't want to judge, they have to pay them more. We're talking about the Shayin. That what? In order for them to judge, they have to get paid more. What's going on? Ella lo safku. Afal pi shelo ratzu mosif. Meaning, let's say they didn't have enough money. There was inflation. Even if they don't want to receive more salary, we force them to take more. Why? Because we have to give them more. Because they're the Dayanim. So Karna, Havashakil Istira. So Karna, that was his name, he used to take a seller from the Zakai, Istira Me'achayav, and Istira from the Chayav, the Dayanim Udina. And afterwards he used to judge. Yeah, what does this mean exactly? So he used to take a seller in order to say, what is the din? Okay, so says the Gemara, how does he do that? It's written, he's not allowed to take shochat. How does he take one amount of money from one and another amount from the other one? What's going on? Another. Look at Isra from both, which is a seller on both sides, right? So how did he do that? So if he didn't take from both of them, but then they're going to take it to Karna, given that, but once he's taken from both, basically, if you're taking it as a fee and you're taking them from both, why are you going to show favoritism to one more than the other? This is the fee. They pay the fee. They pay the fee. That's it. Why? Then you're going to show favoritism. You got the exact same amount from him, from the other guy. There's no difference. So he says, even if you're not going to do that, it's still permitted. But we learned in a bright, what does it come to teach you? If it's teaching you that you cannot be mezakeh, tachayav, and mechayev to zakai, which means that because of the shochad, you're going to misproperly judge, right? Misjudge. So it's already written, don't incline the judgment. Ella barader, afilu lezakot zakai lechayev et chayav amar Torah v'shokol l'tikvach. Even to come and to be mizakeh the zakai and to be mechayev the chayav, the Torah says shochad lo tikach. Don't do it. Hanamila, one of these words, heichad v'shakid b'Torah shochad. Only if he took it as shochad. Karna b'Torah agrava, but he was taking it as schar, as wage, and as a salary he was allowed to. Meaning he wasn't taking it as shochad. He probably said, "This is the amount. This is this. That's it." So says the Gemara, he says these are permitted, but now we learned in the Mishnah. He says if somebody's going to take schar in order to start judging, everything that he judges is batel. So answers the Gemara, and one of these words, agardina, right? To be socher the din. He wasn't taking it as a din. He was, listen, I could make right now a certain salary. In order for me not to make that salary, and it's called schar batala, which means that instead of me, right now I'm not working, I can't make that amount of money. I can make this amount, so if you have to pay that amount. So says the Gemara, Agar Batila Mishari is permitted to take even schar batala, which means money for being batel, for not doing something. But we learned in a Braita, it's ugly if a judge is going to take reward for judgment. But it's a good judgment. What's the case? If you're going to tell me Gardina, Dino Din, is it a good judgment? But tell me, already learned. It's null. It's nullified. It's annulled. Ela garbetela. We're talking about a garbetela, schar batala. And still we learn mechwara dayan. It's not good. So answers the Gemara, and I mean one of these words, betela deno muchaf. It's not muachach. Karna betela muchaf b'shekel. For sure he was taking it. Davitai be'amra dechamra. Because he used to come and he used to smell, right, all the different otzerot of yain. Right? That means he used to come and he always used to check the wine. Right? That means he used to be able to smell wine and tell you if it's good or not good, and which wine is going to go off very easily. And then he used to pay him. So it means he used to make money so much every single day, so now he can't work because he has to judge. So everybody knew that he was doing that. It wasn't somebody that, anyway, he's not doing anything, now you have a done. No. This guy is somebody that all the time he's doing this, you understand? So that's because of that.
Pay him for the time
that he's not doing working. Okay, that's called schar batala. Reward for being batel, for being not doing anything, basically. Right? Kiyad Ravuna, just like when they used to come in front of Din, Amalo, he says, bring me, right, a person that he would get water instead of me. Right? And then I'm going to do, which means he used to say, listen, you guys want to take me as a judge? No problem. Take somebody to water on my fields, just like what I was doing. And now I'm going to judge you. So Amar Biyavu says, Biyavu, now we're going to speak about a little bit about shochad, about bribery. Look what it is, people that they come and they accept bribery. Adam chash be'enav, a person, he's got eye problems, noten mamon rofei, he goes to a doctor and he gives him money. Safek mintapes, he is a doubt. Is he going to become cured? Are we going? But he still pays the doctor, right? Vehen notrim shaveh pruta, people, they come, they take only shaveh pruta, they take half of a coin as shochad, they become blind completely. Shneimar says in Pasuk, ki shochad yaveh pichim. The shochad is going to be yaveh pichim.
Even if you don't know that he has the money
in his pocket, exactly. It's going to completely blind the person. So Tanana, but I'm going to write that ki shochad yaveh chachamim kavcholot b'shim. If it's going to blind chachamim, kavchomer is going to blind the tipshim. Yisalev tivret tzadikim kavchomer is going to take away the words of the reshaim. Midi tipshim reshaim in adina. He says, 1 second. We're talking about dayanim. Dayanim are tipshim, they're fools. Dayanim are reshaim. So you know what it is to become a dayan? Not talking about the fools, reshaim. Like, what's going on here? And so the Gemara, but Ela Achim, this is what we say. Ela, right? Ki shochad yaven nechachamim, afilu chacham gadol. Even if he's going to be such a big chacham, velokeach shochad, and he's going to take shochad, eno niftar min haolam, he's not going to be passed away from this world without smiut lev. What does that mean? It'll become blinded in his heart. Yisalev divrei tzadikim, what is going to teach you? Kufei Amud Bet 105b. Shafilu tzadik gamon lekras shachad. Even a tzadik gamon is taking shochad. Eno niftar min haolam lo tiru for that. He's not going to leave this world without his mind going off. Kiat Rav Dimi, when Rav Dimi came from Yisrael Bavel, he said, Tarash of Nachman Bar Kohen says of Nachman Bar Kohen, what does it mean in Pasuk Melech b'mishpat yagid eretz ve'ish trumot yersena? A melech b'mishpat, a king in judgment, he's going to hold the land. But a person which is in each trumot, he's going to destroy it. In Domei Dayan LaMelech Shenu Tzech HaKlum, if the Dayan is somebody like a melech that he doesn't need anything, Yamid Adis, then the world could be fulfilled. In Domei Kohen, but if he's going to be like a Kohen that he's always looking for donations, Yersena, he's going to come and he's going to destroy it. That's why there's actually a Shut Bet Yosef, if I remember correctly, of the Bet Yosef, he brings down that a Dayan has to be rich. He has to be rich. Why? Because if not, there's going to be such a big Yetzirah, right, to come and to bribe him. He has to have money, right? And when he has money, so then Baruch Hashem, then he's not worried about it. Why? Because that's it. You understand? Like it's like so you could give him much more than what he really needs. A salary of I don't know what. Why? We don't want him to take bribery, and we have to protect him that way, in that fashion. So Amar Rabbi Rashida said, "Rashida Hayden and the Shilta, right? A dayan, right? That usually he comes and he asks and he borrows things from the people. Pasur lemei dandina. He can judge. So imagine you have a judge, but he borrows things from people. He has to borrow your car, borrow the swimming pool, borrow the this, borrow the that. He borrows things. He can be a dayan. So says the Gemara, right? So what happened? He says he can't borrow if he's borrowing things. Pasul to judge. That's only if he doesn't have what to lend to other people. But if he does have to lend to other people, we don't have a suspicion. Why? Because it's not like a real. You understand? It's kilu that they also need him. So it's like it's not just that he always needs people. You understand? So says Gemara, says what? He borrowed things even though he didn't lend things out. So answers Gemara, there in the case of Rava, he used to borrow things from them, not because be'emet he needed it. It was kilu zama to show that they were very important people. So Amar Rava comes and he says, "My tama de shuchta." What's the reasoning? Why is it a sur to accept shochad? Let's say you have a case, clear case. You already saw the judgment. Let's say you even gave the judgment. Even afterwards, there's going to be why can't you accept it? It says, "Given the kabel shuchta mineh." No, it says the second you accept shochad, doesn't exist to see something negative. Nothing negative. It doesn't exist. That's it. My shochad, shehu chad. It's something which basically through it, right? It's ki'ilu that you're giving the heart of the noten and the mekabel together. So Amar Rav Papa comes and he says, a person should not judge, right, to somebody that he loves. And not to somebody that he hates. Because the one that he loves, he'll never see something negative. The son-in-law and the one that he hates, he'll never see something good about him. Meaning, you can't go to either or, because the one that he loves him, he can't. You understand? That's it. So Amar Abaye says, this is Tamil Chacham, right? That the people that they love him so much, it's not because he's so good. He's not rebuking them. This is, by the way, one of the most important gemaras. If you have a rabbi that they all love him, it means that he's not rebuking them. And that's why they love him. Because it's not that he's so good. It just means he's not rebuking them. So if he's not rebuking them, so that obviously everyone will love him. Why do people hate rabbis? Because they're always giving people on the head. You understand? They're putting them straight. You understand? And it hurts. You understand? Like it bothers people. Yeah? So Amar Rava comes and he says, Merei Shavamina, at the beginning we used to say, at the beginning you say, they all used to love me. Once we became Dayanim, I say, some people love me and some people hate me. Says 1 second, but once they see that the one that I made him Zakai today was Chayav tomorrow, right? And the other way, so that if they love me, everyone loves me. And if they hate me, everyone hates me. So it becomes like everyone, you understand? Like it's something completely different anymore. You don't have to say Shochad Mamon. Even words is going to be a sur. It's not written Betza lo tikach. You're not to give the Betza. What's the case of Shochad Marim? He was passing by a bridge. Atau Gavra, there was somebody that came. So he says over here like this. So he says, what is Shochad Varim? Just like Shmuel, he was going back over the bridge. And Atau Gavra, somebody came, he gave him his hand. Elmaleh, he says, no, what do you do? Elmaleh Dina, I've got a judgment. Elmaleh, he says, you gave me your hand to pass by the bridge. It's already, you made me pasul. That's it. Ameiman was sitting down, judging. Right? All of a sudden came a little feather on his head. Atau Gavra, Shaklis, so somebody came and he took it. Elmaleh, he says, no, what do you do? Elmaleh, he says, Dina Ili, I've got a judgment. Elmaleh, he told him, I can't be your dayan anymore. You fix my collar, you fix that's it. Moruk Vavar Shadi Ruka Kame. He had rock in front of him, right? And he was gonna fall in front of like he was gonna go into this rock. So somebody came and he covered it. Elmaleh says, what do you do? Elmaleh, Dina, I've got a din. Says Elmaleh, you made me, made me pasul. A fourth case, he had an hadith, right? They used to come and he used to have a basket of perot, of fruits. The fruits and everything. So one day but there's a difference though. This, it belonged to him. But instead of coming on Friday, he came on Thursday.
Okay.
But it was his fruits, meaning it's
Okay.
it was his own fruits, meaning this belongs to him. Yeah, it belongs to him. So Elmaleh comes and he says, my what happened now? Elmaleh, he says, Dina Itzli, I've got a judgment. Vamina, and I said, says what? On the path, right? To the path of the Bedina, I came to bring it. No, he didn't accept it. Elmaleh, and he told him, I'm pasul. So he put another zugu to judge him. Right? When he was going back and forth, he could say like this, he could say like that. He said, he went and he said, look how powerful it is, the people that they accept shochan. I didn't take the shochan. Even if I did take the shochan, it's my fruits. He just brought them one day earlier, but it's my fruits. And look, I'm trying to think in my mind. He could say like this, and he could say like that. And if he says like this, he won. If he says like this, he won. So look at the people that mekable shochad, right? Sorry, shalina tati kach. This is what's going to happen. Mekable shochad, halacha kama v'chama, even all the more so. Fifth case, Rabbi Shalom Elisha, I told you Gavra Reshita Gez. Somebody brought him a Reshita Gez. Amallo, he says, Mechat, where are you from? From this place. Says what? There was no Kohen to come. You had no Kohanim from there to here. You had to come here to give me to me. Amalei says, Dina, I've got a judgment. And I said, so okay, so I'm going to bring it to you. Amalei says, still, I became pasul. Lo kabimine, he didn't accept it from him. Also, he got another zug of Rabbanam, and they judged him. He said the same thing. He started going back and forth that he would have judged it like it. I didn't take anything. And even if I would have taken it, belonged to me because I'm a Kohen. So it automatically belongs to the Kohen. He says, so the most of the people that are going to be Mekable Shochad. Ravanan, Aiti Le'u Gavra, Kanta de Gile de Begile. So Ravanan, somebody brought him a bucket full of small fish. Yeah? From the swamp. Elmaleh, he says, no, what do you do? What do you do? Elmaleh, he says, yeah, I've got a judgment. He didn't accept it. Elmaleh, he says, I became pasul. Elmaleh, he says, Dina demor, lo ba'inan. I don't need the Dina demor. Right? Kabulu le kabel mon. But at least accept it. So they shouldn't stop me from bringing bikurim. Right? The Tanya was we learned in a Braita. The ish ba mi bal shalisha. But Elisha used to eat bikurim. What's going on? So he says, anybody that's going to be a doron to chacham, keilu makriv bikurim. It's as if that he's bringing bikurim. Elmaleh says, kabul elo ba'inan di kabel. At the beginning, I didn't want to receive the present because I thought that you wanted to give me shochat. But now that you told me the reason, I'm going to accept it. He sent to Nachman, I didn't want to go. He says, why don't you do it? The anan, right? I'm already pasul. Amar he says, one second. Now he's already he's a karov. What happened is that there was a judgment of Yitomim in front. Now Rav Nachman said, from the fact that he said that he's pasul, he thought he's pasul, he's a family member. She says, there's a family of Ravanan. So what happened? Amar hayaseh vayaseh. Both of them is a mitzvah to say. Kvod of Torah, and you have the aseh of judging. What did he do? Salke de ledina diatme. He put the din of the Yitomim aside, and then he judged this guy. Once the Baldin went and he saw that, Yekara de Kabili, that he made such a kavod, he statim ta'anateh. He wasn't able to talk to him. Why? Because the guy said, what's going on here? The Rav Nachman just went in there. What? He wasn't able to say anything. So we're going to see a powerful story now with Rabbanan, because this was like a stumbling block that happened to Rabbanan that with Eliyahu Navi. We're going to see tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem.